Good morning. It's Friday morning. We're a bit late this morning, but that's all right. We're going to read Acts 5 1 through 6. But a man named Ananias, with his wife Sapphira, sold a piece of property, and with his wife's knowledge, he kept back for himself some of the proceeds and brought only part of it and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back for yourself part of the proceeds of the land? While it remained unsold, did it not remain your own? And after it was sold, was it not at your disposal? Why is it that you have contrived this deed in your heart? You have not lied to man, but to God. When Ananias heard these words, he fell down and breathed his last, and great fear came upon all who heard of it. The young men rose and wrapped him up and carried him out and buried him. This follows right after the incident where Barnabas sells a field and brings the proceeds to the church and lays it down at the apostles' feet. So Ananias and Sapphira then come along later. It's the thing to remember here is that the chapter and verse numbers were added centuries later. So when Luke wrote this is a continuing narrative, and it starts in chapter 4 with that incident we read yesterday. So this is not a new story, a separate story. It's just the way that we broke it up. And Ananias and Sapphira decide to do this thing. Now, the way it reads, if you just read it literally, it sounds like the problem is that they're somehow being dishonest. But the issue is that they pretend that this is all the money that they made. They sold their field for $150, and they brought 100 of it to the church and said, this is what we made. And Peter calls them on it and says, you've lied to the Holy Spirit. So Ananias dies. This is a terrible incident that has happened, and it's a terrible kind of thing for him to it's a terrible way. It's not a kind of a stewardship sermon we would typically preach. God is going to smite you dead if you don't, bring all your money. That's not the way our church works or our faith works. That's not the way that we think anybody should do to other people. But the sorry, the sun is killing me. The thing that Peter gets into here is making sure that Ananias realizes that you don't lie to the Spirit. You don't lie to the church about what you're doing. If you only want to bring a part of the proceeds, that's fine. It's up to you what you give, but don't pretend that you're giving more than you are. Don't lie to the Spirit. That's what that's going to be Ananias's crime. That's his sin, is making it up and trying to pass himself off as more generous than he is. He will he's taken out and buried, and tomorrow we're going to read about Sapphira. She comes in not knowing that he's died, and she maintains the same story, and then she dies. And everyone else, I'm sure, sells their fields and brings it in with a witness and an accountant and 3 spreadsheets to show that, in fact, they brought all the proceeds. The issue, though, is the lying. And so what we got here is Luke has told us this is how the early church operated. It was a very communal sort of thing, and you gave all your money when you sold something, and it was distributed. And these two decided not to play that game. They decided to lie and say, well, yeah, this is all our money, even though it wasn't. And that's the issue, their dishonesty. So when it comes to stewardship, I'd say it's best if you be honest and not try to deceive God. God knows what you've got and what you're giving, and not try to deceive others or deceive yourself. Come on, let's be honest. This is how much we have. This is how much we're giving. You know, it's whatever percentage it is, and let that be that. So take this story as a kind of warning. Take it as a sort of warning, I guess, about honesty, and but don't take it as some sort of threat. You know, that the church is going to come after you if you don't do things exactly this way, because that's not going to happen. So have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning.